And we are back with another Scale of Fate episode. Back with the Chaos Crew, as we call them. Or at least as I call them. Um, Previously, you guys made it to Winter's Bane, to the monastery atop the mountain, where, upon getting here, Errol had a bit of a spar with the head monk of this place, Master Kala, who he put up a pretty good fight against before being knocked down. Um, and after everything was said and done, and you all decided to rest for the night, the following morning, as Errol was the first to get up, he followed an individual you all saw essentially doing cliff diving and just kind of hanging around the cliffs in a very odd spot. He followed them, discovering it was the drow with the two birds that you later discovered was named Octavian, who, upon pursuing and discovering him sitting within a cave of a dragon, the dragon that Errol met already before and made a trade deal with, um, ended up having a conversation with the dragon for a bit while the rest of the party looked for you. After which, found you, spoke with the dragon a tiny bit, spoke with Octavian as well, and you all headed back up to the monastery in a very unorthodox fashion. A bit of bantering and pushing each other off of cliffs. And upon returning, Errol walked back into the main chamber, where he ran into Master Kala, who simply turned and said, "It's time to begin your training," or something like that. I don't remember specifically, but
That's what he said.
it was that?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I was right. I was questioning my memory because it's easily wrong sometimes.
You're Gucci.
But so we're kind of gonna jump through this kind of first day a bit. In this first day, Master Kala seems to kind of test your will a lot. Mostly your endurance and your strength are the two things he tests as he pushes you pretty much to the breaking point. And if you want to roll that con save for me to see how quickly he puts you to the breaking point and how tired you are at the end.
I got a 4. He kicked my ass.
Wow. You get through maybe half of the day before finding yourself collapsed upon the floor, unable to move, your body hurting, every inch of every ounce of your being is in nothing but pain as you lay there. He kind of looks at you a bit disappointed from after the fight yesterday, and now you're not able to put up as much. And he kind of stands there for a time, just letting you sulk in your pain. Do you have anything you want to say while you're laying there?
I'm just kind of like I'm not saying anything. I'm just visibly disappointed in myself.
Okay. As he's kind of watching you lay there, he kind of sighs a little bit and just says, he just says, "I was expecting a lot more, but it seems you're still recovering from our fight yesterday."
You blame me? I went all out there.
Not entirely. You aren't from here, so it only makes sense that your will is a bit lacking at times compared to some of the people that come through here.
Well, I'm not their size either, so I'll make do with what I can.
I will say though that you still do impress me, even though it appears that You've been exhausted faster than expected. Not many would come this far simply to have their ass kicked.
To be completely honest, I was told that you'd be able to straighten me out and help me find my way. Assumed to have lost myself long ago.
And that is why many come here to the temple. Though it seems that you're a bit more lost than those that I normally get. You're a strange one. He kind of
Wandering.
gestures to the Wendigo skull that's kind of like it's still on the rope on your bag, or it's like still with you, but it's like kind of laid off to the side a little bit because of the way you're laying.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of gestures to that.
Oh yeah, that. Thought I'd have a little bit of fun. I was told it would come at a price. Seemed a bit exciting. Been wandering these lands for a while since I've been banished, so
Well, maybe it isn't something of strength that you're looking for, but he kind of taps his head with, his one hand. This is maybe something of the mind that you're missing.
what do you mean by that?
You say you lack purpose. That within you don't seem to feel any drive towards anything. You just wander.
My reason for living was taken from me a long time ago.
Then find a new
So
one.
now Errol just kind of looks at him, just blank stare. Be like, I've tried, but nothing has just seemed worthy enough. So instead, I wander and I guess taunt death to see if it'll take me.
You're not much different from some of the people here. You're a bit smarter than some of them. He kind of turns away from you and kind of walks off a few feet, and he just says, though, when you lack a purpose, you do stupid things. And stupid things are what get you killed early on.
Well, you're definitely right there. I've already apparently have a very strong entity coming after me. I guess you could say it's karma. Maybe death sent it. Who knows? We shall see.
And what might this entity be?
Couple days, weeks, I don't know. Time's melding, but whatever. In the past few days, along our journey through this snowy land, I saw an opportunity. There was purple beams going out into the sky. I made a wage, or I made a bet with our bard to see if I could go steal the item that was causing them. However, when I did, it was a dragon that was trying to obtain this item, a purple dodecahedron. I successfully stole it and got away from the dragon, and ever since then, it's apparently been hunting me down.
I think I know which dragon you're speaking of.
Everyone but me seems to know who this dragon is.
You're not the first to try to steal from him. Most of us just tend to avoid him due to the lack of interest in his pursuits. I we'll say you're lucky to have gotten this far. If he's on your back.
He will be surely disappointed when he does find me, for I don't have the item anymore.
Item or not, he would probably devour you all the same.
Yes, it's been on my mind what I'm going to do when he does find me. I'll most likely make sure that the rest of the group doesn't get involved, or at least dragged into my consequences. Hell, I'm small enough. If he does eat me, maybe I could eat my way out.
That may not be the most suggestible idea, but it is an idea. He kind of stands off, like he's still off to the side a little bit. He just slowly kind of walks back over, seeming to drop some sort of potion on your chest as he kind of walks by. He says, "Drink this, take an hour. I have more plans once you get back."
Meditate for that hour.
Okay. You drink this potion, which seems to bring back some of your energy. You're not as sore. You're not feeling like death. It is still a little hard to move.
How many points of exhaustion do I have?
You have 1 at the moment.
Alright, let me add that. Where the fuck do I add?
You click on conditions.
Yep. Exhaustion, 1 point. Oh, spicy.
Where do you want to go to try to meditate?
It's cold outside, right?
Yeah.
Just gonna grab like a. I have my winter clothes and all of that, so I'm gonna go grab that, maybe even a blanket. I'm gonna go over to the cliff's edge and meditate.
Okay. And what are you focusing on while you do this meditation?
I'm just focusing on the sound of the waves. I'm just seeing what comes to me.
Okay.
Well, it helps with your storytelling.
Yeah.
I
I've been given free reign and I'm not ready. Give me a moment. I'm gonna look at something real quick. Okay. Yeah. You kind of let your mind wander in this time, listening to the waves crash against the cliffside, thinking back to the dragon that lives down there. And as you think about it, you think of the deal you made with Octavian, and these thoughts seem to develop into other thoughts and kind of push you into a sort of direction. Thinking of the dragon below, you do think of the white dragon that is pursuing you. The thought of a fight with him before, as this kind of vision and kind of picturing of a fight, you see the eyes of this dragon. The eyes don't, they seem to change color within the vision, and you find yourself thinking of the tabaxi from before. The half dragon tabaxi that you had fought back in. Jesus, what's the name? Give me a moment. Fought back in Frostheim. That brutal fight that you had with her after Magnus witnessed her absorb a soul of a fallen warrior before carrying on with her business with her half-orc paladin companion after Magnus had slaughtered the Nolish barbarian companion that she had. And at this thought, you feel there's almost a feeling of disgust and almost a desire to have her killed due to after you guys had finished fighting her taking possession of trinket and severely injuring the party using a spell near the end of that fight, downing most of you. And there's a rage in the moment before you feel yourself come back as you feel a hand on your shoulder. And do you respond to the hand? Because you're like, you snap back out of your meditation, so like these thoughts kind of stop for a moment. You kind of feel someone place a hand on your shoulder.
I'd look in the direction.
You see Cal. Kind of he's gently placed his hand on you and is looking at you slightly worried. And as he kind of looks at you, he says, "Are you all right? You seem a bit distant at the moment."
Just thinking. It hasn't really crossed my mind at some time since we've been so preoccupied. But I really don't know what I'm doing here.
I don't entirely blame you for that. It has been, well, there's no easy way to put it, a bit of a shit show.
No, I don't mean in this place. I mean on this planet. I don't know why I'm here.
Kind of slowly sits down next to you and just looks out over the ocean. He says, "Well, that's a bit of a tougher one." Like you notice as he's like saying this, he's also the deck of cards, the tarot cards that always seem to be in his hand seem to have returned to his hand, and he is kind of fidgeting with them. He says, "You're bound to have some sort of purpose, something that will either find you or you will find it."
When I was back in my home, my purpose was to protect my people, my family, see that they prosper, grow old, and die. But now I can't even go back to that. My family doesn't need protection in their grave, and I don't think I'll be growing old anytime soon.
If that was your protection then, maybe it still is your purpose. My sentence came out funny. If that was your purpose then maybe it still is your purpose. But maybe your obligations are to someone else. He kind of gestures towards the door where the rest of the party's kind of been hanging out. He says, "Perhaps it's them who you need to protect now."
If that is the case, then they need protection from me. I have a mark on my back. If I stay with them, that'll get them killed. But if I leave them, then I can't help them, and they'll get killed. So I must solve one to save the other.
That is a difficult thought to ponder. Though, I don't think it's much of a hard decision on which route you should take. Clearly, they need you as much as you need them. Even if he gestures to the Wendigo skull that's kind of hanging off your back, and just says, even though some things that you have can be a liability.
Human I've made a contract with. No, not a demon. A spirit. It's a spirit of vengeance. Hmm. Maybe I'll get vengeance on the Tabaxi. Or the dragon. Or Star Stag. So many options. And yet all of them are over there. And he'll just point out over the ocean.
Yes, but those are goals you can work for. Something that you can pursue. A purpose. You need to feel less useless in the end. Because a life without a purpose is one that is much tougher to live.
A life without a purpose is not a life. It is a corpse.
I feel this might help you, as I've not told this to many. But I was once like you. Before I met the band of bards that I used to travel with before I ended up here, the Hopebringers. I used to wondering what I was supposed to do in life. And it was difficult, and nearly, a few times, got me killed until they found me. And since then, I have lived a much rougher life than I was when I felt useless, yet things seemed better. You just have to find that purpose. And everything will clear up.
Oh, I must train to get stronger, to protect, in hopes that I'm strong enough for what has yet to come.
I don't know if it is strength that you need. Something tells me you're strong enough for whatever comes, especially after that fight that I witnessed yesterday against that strange one-armed monk. You're stronger than you give yourself credit for.
It's not physical strength. I think I've reached my limit on that. I must train the non-physical. Because this one seems to be hungry. I'll gesture to the skull and go, when I was knocked out of the form, during the fight, it seems as though a bit of me was torn from it, from myself.
That is not something that should occur. It does seem strange. This somewhat sounds like it could be problematic. But
I agree.
I would just recommend treading carefully.
I think I'm going to put it away for a bit. I don't want to ask Dalgamane for help, since I haven't really given him much. And as I'm saying that, I'm putting the skull into my bag of holding.
Okay. It kind of nods a little bit and kind of almost side glances as he watches you do this. And kind of looks down at his You're kind of down towards where the waves are crashing. Sitting there twiddling his cards between his fingers, just kind of letting them move as you've seen them do before. He just says, I think, if I'm to be honest, you already have a purpose based on what I've seen. The issue is, and as he's kind of like flipping cards around, he kind of pulls one up, and you've seen this one before. It's the one with I don't know if it was drawn for you or for someone else, but it was the one with, on the top of the card, you see this human woman, her mouth is sewed shut and her eyes filled with fear and desperation on the top of the card. And that's the only part that he's really showing you, as his thumb's kind of over the second half of the thing. He says, I think something in you has suppressed and silenced what your true purpose is, and it's dragging you down. I think you need to open up and allow it to be free. As he kind of says that, the card, with like a quick motion of his fingers, kind of disappears, and he kind of slowly gets back to his feet, stretches a tiny bit, looks down at you, gives you a slight nod, and then is going to slowly turn towards the door. Or towards the building to go back inside.
How long has it been? Has it been the full hour or?
By this point, it's very close to the full hour.
I'm going to use my ring and summon the serpent.
Okay. It appears before you, kind of looking you up and down as it kind of materializes before your eyes and just says, you called.
You gotta check the dragon for me down in the cave.
Sure. You watch it dip into the earth and disappear for a minute. About a minute or so passes. It slowly pops back up and just says, he's sitting in there with a drowish individual.
Yes, they're still chatting.
They were sitting quietly when I checked, but maybe they can talk in other ways.
Come walk with me. Or float. Whatever you do.
Walking requires effort. This is simple. I don't do any sort of effort. You see him kind of floating beside you.
Errol's just gonna kind of walk towards the monastery. He's like, so, is your purpose to serve the wielder of the ring?
Yes, as others like me have the same purpose.
And what happens once the wielder is gone?
I go dormant for a while. Don't really do much. It's a bit boring, and I generally sleep through most of it. But then, once the ring has been acquired by a new, things get interesting again.
Have you ever dreamed of something bigger?
I can't say I have. I would assume others like me possibly have. I don't enjoy doing anything more than what I already done.
He has a claim, I see.
It keeps things simple if things don't change for me. And I enjoy that better.
Continue walking. So that does sound nice. I'll see you around.
Of course. As you kind of say that, he does the same thing he did before, where he just kind of fades out of existence.
Ooh, magic. Uh, so I'm going back into the monastery. Gotta find old man.
Yes.
Time for more points of exhaustion.
You find him standing within this kind of center space, and you see he's kind of set up this little. I don't know how to really what to call it other than like it almost looks like he's set up like a torture thing. You see this mat with very small kind of spikes sticking from it,
Mm-hmm.
along with a there's a couple of instruments, all consisting of various spikes that look to be able to be worn, as well as what looks like a very similar to a crown of thorns that he has kind of set
Jesus.
down in this space. Not quite like that kind, but yes, reminiscent of it. But it's not like an actual
That's
crown of thorns. It's like
literally
a
the one thing I heard.
yeah, it's like a band, and on the inside of the band there are little like spikes that stick out of it. And as you kind of come in, he looks towards you and he gestures to the mat and says, "Sit."
Just nod. Before entering, is this like the training room? I don't know. I don't
You're
know
in
the
the. It's like
traditions.
the center monastery you've done most of your training in.
All right, I'll just bow, walk over, and just sit on the mat.
Let's roll me. Yeah, let's do a con save.
And it's on disadvantage. So quirky. Bro, how come I roll better when I'm on this bullshit? I got a 15.
Got 15.
First, it's the +2 modifier. First one was a 16, the other one was a 13.
It is not the greatest feeling to sit on, but it's also not entirely like excruciating by any means. Um, it's more of like a pins and needles feeling you're getting because these points don't seem to be sharp enough to penetrate anything, but they seem to be just enough to cause irritation. And you see he kind of like crosses his legs and seems to take on like a meditating position. And he says, "I want you to meditate while on that. And as you do it, I will add more, and we'll see how long you last."
Good.
So as you begin meditating, I want a wisdom saving throw for me. But you should be better at these.
Yep, you are right. What the fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ, I read that wrong. All right, yeah, that's a 20. First one was a nat 20, that's a 15.
Not 20. All right. You only have a +5? So your saving
Yeah.
throw?
On
Oh, wait.
wisdom?
I thought as a monk you had proficiency with saving. Oh, wait.
Not yet.
Not yet. What
Not
do you
yet.
have it in? What are your proficiencies?
I think dex and strength. I don't know why.
Huh. All right. I thought monks
Yeah, that
was.
doesn't make any
I
sense.
thought monks were dex and wisdom.
Why do I have a strength? Wait, do I have proficiency? Hold up, let me see what I have proficiency
Are you in the saving throw, or are you?
Yeah, I'm looking at my saving throws. I got a +3 for strength, +9 for dex, +2
But everyone has a
for
dot
con.
next to it.
Yeah, the 2 dots. I have one in
Yeah.
strength
What
and
the
one in
hell?
dex.
I thought they were wisdom. I guess I was wrong. Huh. Strange. All right.
That's
Okay.
also, yeah, that's weird. Oh, I think I did strength because I have a negative modifier on my strength already.
Do you get a pick? I don't think you get a pick with that.
I have no idea.
Not a
I
clue.
don't know. No
I
clue.
don't, I don't know.
We
I don't know.
digress.
I don't know shit about monks anyway. So it's like,
They get say proficiency in all saving throws at like 14 or something.
Yeah, they do get that. That is a thing they do get. Um, anyway, all right. So you got 20. So you begin your meditation, finding yourself drifting away from this pain, this uncomfortable feeling seeming to fade. And as you are getting into a comfortable kind of state of mind, uh, you feel a kind of a clasp fastened behind your back as there seems to be a vest, now adding the prickling effect to your torso.
Udamus.
And you roll another wisdom saving throw. It's pretty much determining how long you last with this. If you get through all of them, it'll be interesting.
15.
15. Okay. You fidget a tiny bit, but you do eventually kind of push through this sensation, feeling yourself kind of fading away. And as you kind of enter this headspace over and over again, you keep seeing the vivid pictures you'd seen before of the dragon and the tabaxi, and also of the things that you wish you could do to some Sarthagians. And these images seem to get more and more detailed in your head each time that he does this. And as you are kind of like getting in this headspace for the second time, you feel something placed upon your head, which was that kind of essentially crown of thorns. Wisdom saving throw again.
Yeah, I'm already rolling it. Yeah, I got an 18. You're gonna be
18.
We'll screenshot and send you these. This is so goddamn funny.
Okay, so you push through this one. You're kind of getting used to this pain, not pain, this sensation, pushing through it. And you feel these images are coming back, and you feel you can't describe it as rage because rage is too raw and chaotic of emotion, but there's some sort of drive that pushes you to want to kill or dispose of these individuals. And you want to do everything in your power to get rid of them. And as you are focusing on this, and you're coming to realize that this irritative state that you're getting into and this determination is starting to show because you hear him grunt a few times, and the grunts themselves, you take them as almost like a curiosity thing, as well as a like almost like someone going like good type deal. And as you kind of feel this going on, you feel a band placed on both arms, covered in these same spikes. The sensation of this irritating sensation driving further. And roll me another save, sir.
Still on disadvantage. It is a 16. I sent you the other one.
Yeah.
The 18 was so goddamn funny.
A 16. Okay. So it's getting harder and harder to focus. And as it's getting like harder to harder, you eventually kind of find yourself breaking. And you do find that you kind of let out a sigh of just like irritation. And he clearly knows you've broken out of this meditative state as you kind of look towards him. And he's kind of sitting there. He would cross his arms, but he only has one. So it's more of just like an arm kind of sitting there at a funny angle, like supposed to be simulating crossing arms, but he's not.
Yeah.
He kind of shakes his head a little bit and says, I was hoping you'd go farther. But that'll do. And he kind of goes over and takes off the bands off your arms, simply hits the switch on the back of the vest, and it just kind of drops in front of you, and then pulls off the crown of thorns that he had put on you. A little bit of blood trickling from your head. as one of the spikes did cut you a little bit.
Do I need a roll for damage?
No, it's not enough
Okay.
to cause damage. It's just like it's like getting like nipped with like a pin needle. It's like it's enough to cause bleeding, but it's not enough to like actually cause any sort of like damage that's worth mentioning.
Okay, yeah.
Um, he kind of drops toes to the side and simply says, "Do you have anything you wish to tell me, though, of your experience within
Visions
the piercing meditation?"
I had visions of the dragon. Tabaxi that had been cursed. And Starstark.
Interesting. And what did you see in these thoughts?
Their deaths by my hand. Or what I would do to them.
That's good. That means you have a goal, a purpose. You just need to will yourself to go for that purpose.
Two of those I don't think I have. I need more preparation for two. One of them could be done with great struggle.
Then make it your purpose to get there. Build what needs to be built and destroy what needs to be destroyed.
Be like water, shapeless. I will take the form of what is needed. Water can be calm, but water can also be destructive.
He kind of nods, seeming to almost smile at your comment. And he says, "Water can be a terrifying force, a thing to be reckoned with." He kind of makes a gesture to himself a little bit, and he says, "Those who know of my abilities and what they've seen know to fear me, but they also know to find peace in me. Come to me for when they need a bit of push, as they know that I've destroyed armies and torn apart great beasts with but a single hand."
Those help you? And he's gesturing to the markings on him.
They serve a purpose. A fairly powerful one at that, but they do serve a purpose. They're not something that I rely on by any means, though. My own abilities are sufficient in what I need to do.
At my old monastery, some monks had talked about tattoos of that sort and mentioned that there was a few that were earned by trial-like combat. I'm guessing that might be one, but I could also be mistaken.
I got this from a demon that I fought for a time that I spent in the Nine Hells. He was impressed with my ability to stand against him without even flinching, and nearly defeating him before I was put down myself. and being as impressed as he was in knowing where I was from, granted me the gift before sending me home.
Hells, you say? Is that a place accessible on this island?
There are ways. They're just not recommended for most.
I'm not most.
They're generally
However,
used to
I
get
don't
out of the.
think I'm ready at this time to go there.
I would have to agree with you. Not many are ready, even after years of training.
How does one get there?
There are means by timing the portals, knowing when they appear and where they appear, as this place does leak out those holes of which the fiendish individuals dwell. And there are a few rituals that some of our people know quite well and use generally to open the portals to get our kind out whenever they've been trapped there after death.
To venture there sometime. See what excitement awaits.
Maybe one day. But I would not recommend anytime soon.
I have to agree with you there. If I can't even beat you, I serve no side. I stand no chance against some demons.
There are very few that could beat me, but yes, I would agree on you not being able to overtake one. Though you might get close with some.
What do you know of the topaz dragon down underneath this peak?
Topaz Dragon. He kind of pauses for a moment and he says, I'm not entirely sure of what you're talking about.
Uh, must have been my sleepwalking then.
Hmm.
Can I roll for deception?
Yes, roll me a deception roll.
Alright. Jesus Christ. Okay. 16. That was 11 and a 13.
He kind of looks at you. There's the way that he kind of like the look you kind of get from him. It's clear he doesn't believe you, and seems to the idea in his own mind seems to kind of almost intrigue him on the thought of there being a dragon nearby. And he kind of pauses for a moment and just says, all right, well, on that note, you should probably get some rest. Be prepared for our next training.
Agree. Did come to realize, though, not all dragons are the same. I
Where you
know,
could,
so.
he says, where you could be right. it still probably has things that some of us might want.
Not that one. He already has bigger issues now. Again, dream worlds can be funny.
Of course.
I'm just gonna go back. I guess what he wants me to go sleep.
Yeah, I just want you to go and get rest.
I'm gonna call for the Ripper. Get some rest.
Okay. He ends up coming because he knows how to. He knows his name by this point and actually will come to it.
Let's go. Yeah, I'll just feed him before I go to sleep and then just pass out.
Okay. Does Leopardo want to do anything while you're here? I'm assuming that's a no. Silence is key.
Silence is key.
All right. You take your rest, finding it very easy to actually fall asleep. Um, it's mostly a dreamless. You're too exhausted to dream essentially, and I will say you do take a long rest, so you can remove that point of exhaustion.
Yeah.
Um, and you wake up the next morning. The rest of the party is kind of just doing their own thing. And what do you wish to do on this morning? He didn't give you specifically a time that you need to meet with him. He just kind of told you to get rest.
Alright, I'm going to roll for stealth. Go
Okay.
check out see if he's in the monastery.
Okay, roll a stealth roll.
Da-na-na-na. 23.
Okay. You go out there. You do not see him out in the monastery at the moment.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna feed Toothless and let him outside. And I'll go outside with him. And when I do, I'm going to just pass without a trace and re-roll for stealth.
Okay.
That's a better number. 37.
37. Okay.
I fucking vanish.
Yeah, you are one with your environment. Okay. Where are you going specifically as you do this?
I'm going over to the cliff's edge and kind of making my way down. I want to see if anything happened because Errol's kind of like, fuck. Wasn't supposed to say that.
As you kind of go over to the cliff's edge, you do find him not on the cliff specifically, but you do seem as you kind of go to this cliff's edge and you kind of look, you do as you kind of look over, you don't see anything at first, and then something off the corner of your eye catches your attention. You turn, and you see him kind of standing upon the roof of the monastery, kind of looking out over the sea, kind of looking down at this cliff. He hasn't noticed you, but he is kind of looking down at the cliff, like down the cliff and everything, and kind of looking curiously around.
He doesn't see me though, right?
No, he has no idea you're there.
Okay. I'm gonna go down to onto the entrance.
Okay. You slip down there, slipping into the entrance, uh, seemingly undetected.
Is
You
anyone? Yeah, I'll
you
make my
see
way
the same
in.
light you saw before at the end of the this corridor, and as you kind of like go down it, you do find uh, Octavian is asleep, and the two birds are also sleeping as well. Seem to be kind of on their own perches, kind of head like you know how ravens sleep, how they kind of like curl up and they'll like put their head on their back and stuff. I think a lot of birds do that actually.
Yeah,
They're kind of like nested
yeah,
on these perches and they're just kind of like laying, like sitting there. The dragon, however, the topaz dragon, seems to be sitting in the back, um, kind of moving stuff. Like he's not moving stuff around, but he's like you can see he's kind of back to this door that you came through, and he seems to be looking through what look to be like various scrolls and stuff that he has on kind of a it would work as a table, but it's like this stone slab that's just kind of like extruding from a wall,
yeah.
and he seems to just be like speaking with himself as he's kind of looking them over.
Player to DM. Did the dragon ever tell me his name?
Nope,
I got
dragon has not.
Octavian's name. Okay. Um, I'm just gonna, I guess, make make myself known. I'm gonna grab some of the, I think it was the bread that the White Raven liked to go put some
Okay.
down in front of the White Raven and the Black Raven. Just go, good morning.
The the dragon kind of glancing towards you, kind of eyes darting over for just a moment as he wasn't expecting guests this morning. As he kind of looks back at you, he says, "I guess welcome back. Did not expect to see you here again, but I'm not surprised."
Thought I'd check in, see how everything's going. You
Things are going.
mentioned, oh, no, sorry, let him
I was
speak.
just gonna say things are going as smoothly as they were before.
You mentioned, you said the monks were aware of your presence, right?
They knew that I existed. They did not know that I live below them. Did
Did you
something
ever,
change?
everyone's gonna kind of scratch his head. They're like, well, the head monk's on top of the roof looking around. However, he definitely didn't see me.
Did you say something?
Just gonna scratch and then just get on both knees, lay his head to the ground, and be like, I kind of fucked up. I slipped up when I was asking questions to the old man.
Of course.
I I thought it'd be better to be honest with you than lie.
Uh, you shouldn't find me. Hopefully. But that means no more use of the hidden entrance. He kind of glances over to Octavian, who's kind of waking up, and he just says, "It looks like we're going to stick with the underwater tunnels for now, as much as I hate those."
Very sorry, sir. Is there anything I could do?
There's any way of convincing him that I'm not here. Attempt it, but other than that, there's not much you can do. And if he does find me here, I'm going to have to end up utilizing the second layer that I had planned just in case this one fell to shambles. I just hope
And
that it doesn't have to come to that, because I do not wish to have to move all of this important information that I have here. All of these scrolls are not exactly waterproof, and I do not wish to try to move them through water.
I'll make sure I'm not seen, as I usually do.
Well, that is good. How was he when you slipped up?
I try to play it off as I had seen you in a dream. He doesn't seem to buy it. Granted, I had basically been training all day, so I wasn't as smooth with my wording, I guess. But when I told him that not all dragons are the same, he had said, not exactly, but there could be something valuable. So, not the greatest of responses. However, I don't think he plans on killing you, but I don't think you want him taking what you have down here either.
You kind of look towards Octavian, who kind of looks at him and just kind of sighs a little bit and says, I'll make preparations. He kind of begins moving around some of his stuff and like going through his bags and things. The
I
dragon kind of looks towards you and just says, we'll have our friend here move some of the things that I don't want him to find if he does get down here. I will say that if he does get down here, I am fairly certain that he won't be happy when he leaves.
he starts heading this way. I'll let you know using the stone Octavian and you gave me.
All right, that sounds like a plan to me. Just hope it doesn't come to that, because I'd rather not have to try to bail out of here while he's trying to come in.
Is there any way you could close up that entrance?
It could collapse the tunnel.
That might make some noise.
Or I could simply try to shove it through a few large stones in the way.
Well, I want to just warn you, seeing how it was my actions to have caused it.
No, that much is appreciated.
Alright, I'll get out of your hair then. And then I'm going to uh that is still active. So I'm gonna re-roll for stealth. Jesus Christ, I got a 38, and I'm also going invisible.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I'm just gonna.
you easily slip out of there.
Is he still on the roof once I make it up to the cliffside?
As you get up to the cliffside, he kind of sits there, like as you were like going up there, he's kind of sitting there, but you do see him kind of disappear over the backside, over the opposite side of where you had seen him, and he does seem to kind of like vanish, and then you do see him reappear within kind of the front, and then he kind of goes through the front doors and disappears inside as you kind of land on the edge of the cliffside.
Fly over, I guess, to see if I can look through the windows and see where he's at.
Okay. It wouldn't be hard. He kind of wanders into the main section. You see him kind of move into the back. There seems to be like some sort of back section. And
Mhm.
she, or not he disappears kind of through these doors like near the back of this sanctuary.
Um, is it dark enough in there that I could shadow step without getting too close?
You could be on the edge of the room.
Yeah, I'll just shadow step in there to the edge.
To the room that he's going into, or the main
Yeah, I
sanctuary?
guess to the
Because
you said it was a
you're
doorway
too
area?
you're too far from the to be able to get into the room that he's going into.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah, no.
appear in
I was going
the
to
main
appear in
sanctuary.
this main sanctuary and then kind of sneak my way over to
Okay.
see where he went.
Okay. So you appear inside as the door kind of closes. You can see this doorway. Um, like the other places, they do seem to be a bit. It seems to be the door itself seems to be different. It seems to almost like you can clearly tell this is some sort of like sacred space for him as being like the head monk. Looks to be
Mm-hmm.
probably like an office space or some sort of living space.
Okay.
So
Um, I'd make my way out of there and I guess go back outside, but use the ring to send the serpent in there to see if he's doing anything.
okay. Um,
Just kind of listen in, essentially.
yeah, the serpent appears and takes your request, going into the room. Um, and as he's kind of off for a bit, um, he does return to you and simply realize back he seems to be looking into some things. Looks to be old
Okay.
scrolls and tomes of sorts, but well, I don't know what the hell it says.
Were you able to make out any symbols, any drawings, anything?
The origins of this, whatever he's reading, it looks to be a mix of something fiendish and old. I'm not entirely sure. Not quite as old as Draconic, but it is old nonetheless. It's a bit crude as well. So,
I'm going to, I guess, I'll thank him and get out of invisibility. I'll call uh, Toothless back in, and then when I go back inside, is Trinket still there?
Trinket is sitting in the room with Cal. Um, let me double check that.
Wait, is he interacting with everyone else?
He's in the
Just
room
the
where
NPCs.
he's in the room that has everyone else.
Yeah. Oh, is Leo in there still?
Yeah.
Let's go. What am I doing?
You would just be chilling in the room. I'm double checking their inventories real quick for stuff. Um,
Also, I just ate dinner, so I have not been paying attention.
I
Didn't hear.
assume so. I said something to you and you didn't respond. So like, yeah, he's not
Oh,
here.
what was it? Hold on, I can respond now.
I was just gonna ask if you had anything you wanted to do before something happened, but you didn't respond, so it was fine.
What if the answer would have been yes?
Well, you'll have your
You don't
time
know.
later. I don't know. Time is
No!
on. Anyways, um, you find them kind of sitting in the room. They look to be playing with kind of like this old tattered deck of cards that Trinket pulled out.
Moncolo exists in this world?
Moncala.
It's that little, like, wood thing with, like, pebble-looking things with a bunch of holes. 10 holes, I believe.
Oh, it does exist, but would you have one?
I don't know.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't think you would have it.
Probably not.
No, I don't think you would have that, but
So they don't have it either anywhere in the monastery.
no.
Damn.
This isn't a traditional monastery. This is something very different.
All right. Who's playing with a deck of cards?
It's Trinket and Cal who are playing with cards.
Like normal deck of cards?
Yeah, it's like an old tattered deck of cards. It seems as there may be 1 or 2 cards missing from the deck. But
You telling me I wouldn't be playing with them?
if you want to play with them, that's
I
what they're
do
doing in
want
the
to
room.
play with them. What are they playing?
It's some crude version of poker.
Yo! I got a high deception. I'd be good at that shit.
I was just trying to relay a message without words. That's all I was trying to do.
Well, you
Now
come in
we
the room to find the 3 of
poker
them
now.
playing poker.
Who's winning?
Based on your knowledge, Trinket's been doing very, very well.
Can I roll a deception check just to see if I'd be doing really good?
Sure. To make it look like you're doing really good.
No, to be doing really, really good. Potentially.
Sure.
Because of bluffing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
I got a 14, son of a bitch.
Yeah, Trinket's doing much better than you.
Fuck
And
you.
you don't know why.
What?
She's been
I've
laughing
seen
and
that
like
check.
she's been laughing and talking to Cal the entire time.
What Errol's passive would be able to see that, right?
What's your passive?
28.
Yeah, you would be able to tell that she. There's a second deck of cards somewhere.
Yeah, I just gonna smirk and tap Leon. You're not gonna win this, bud.
With that knowledge, can I do an insight check?
I
Or
didn't tell him
perception check?
anything.
Well, you just said you were not gonna win, bud. That
Yeah.
tips me off, doesn't it?
Not
really.
necessarily.
That's just you're not gonna win. I'm seeing that she's kicking your ass.
I don't know, man. I'm good at deceiving people. You never know. I'm joking. All right.
Cal, are you able to relay messages without words?
I can.
Can you link all of us here?
Not quite that way. I can. It can be a one-way street. Kind of like, and everyone else in the room sees him go like just go quiet. You hear like this, and he's just kind of staring at you, Errol. I have a bit of a natural talent for telepathy.
Well, I need a way for others outside of this room to not hear. And then using Thieves' Cant, I'd say to Trinket, I might have caused a slight issue.
She responds in Thieves' Cant. She responds back with, "What kind of issue?"
May have, and again, we're just responding, I may have slipped up about the dragon's location with due after my training yesterday. And our buddy here, the monk, may go try to find him, and not in the good sense.
Well, it almost sounds like the gift of a ruby necklace for that dragon. You at least warned him of this?
Of course, but I wanted to warn the rest of the party to not go down there, as to not make his location known. The head monk still does not know that he knows that he's under the mountain, but he does not know of where.
Now that shouldn't be hard for me.
You
Cal just
think?
kind of gives you a nod.
Oh, I was saying that all in Thieves' Cant. Oh, was
No,
Cal able to read my mind?
Cal may or may not know Thieves' Cant.
Ah, that was just, I need a way. I'll just say I need a way to, I guess, put up a bubble. I don't know if the tiny hut would work like that, but...
That is only keeps people from seeing, not exactly hearing, unfortunately.
I was just gonna kind of sigh. And he'll say both to Cal and Trinket, do you think you could spread the word indiscreetly to the rest of them while still making the severity of it known?
Yes, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. And you see Trinket as she kind of gives you a nod, pulls out what looks to be a little piece of copper wire. She says, I can assist.
I'm gonna try to have. I need some way to keep an eye on the monk when I'm not training with him. My serpent can only help me for so long. And Toothless is toothless, so I'm limited on my options. As long as no one goes down to the cliffside area. Or actually, he doesn't even say cliffside, he just says, as long as no one goes down there.
You see Trinket kind of snap her finger, and as she does, the tiny little white owl appears on her shoulder. She says, he might be able to assist. If you're needing eyes.
Thank you. That's appreciated. I'll do my best to sway him out of the idea in the meantime.
And she kind of gives a nod, and the owl kind of lets a little, very tiny hoot out. Just hoot.
There, alright. Guess I'm gonna go see what he's up to.
As you kind of head out the door, the owl kind of follows suit, seeming to. The moment that you kind of open the door, it goes past you and kind of goes up into the upper parts of this chamber and finds a perch.
Is homeboy out in the main area?
He is not yet, and if you will give me a moment, I need to go use the bathroom. I will be right back. You two speak amongst yourselves.
Alright. What did Leo think of that whole interaction? Alec.
I'm sorry, I was muted. I said I was messaging Chris, so I didn't hear a single word.
Oh, essentially, I just came in and started speaking Thieves' Cant to Cal and Trinket, and then she summoned the owl to go spy the old man. But you don't know, because I don't think he can speak Thieves' Cant.
I'm gonna use my needles and stick the owl.
That's not how that.
I'd just be very intently looking at my fucking cards, like, dude, what the fuck am I losing?
Completely unaware of the second deck. She rolled a 25 on sleight of hand.
God. I rolled. Why the fuck? All right, these dice I have, dog shit, dude. They're so bad luck. I just rolled an 18 for nothing. Fuck you. Fuck you, dice. I did the same shit during my own solo session. I was rolling fucking dog shit. Chris was like, damn, those are some unlucky dice. You get new ones.
What's
It used to
your
be I8.
perception? Like passive and then your modifier?
Not a 20 fucking 7. Somehow my insight passive is 17. What? Why did I choose a fucking
Damn.
proficiency in insight? What the fuck? But
I'm
my
back.
passive perception is a 13.
Okay.
Wait, wouldn't it be investigation? I
Yeah,
mean,
it would be
17's not high enough,
No,
but
Oh, no, it'd be perception.
investigation is looking through items or looking for like trapdoors, traps, things of that nature. Insight is looking into a person's motives.
And then perception would be to see if you can tell she's using sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Um,
Essentially, all you did was see if you could beat her sleight of hand, because her doing that versus you being deceptive would have been pretty much. If she would have rolled under you, it would have been her sleight of hand would have been kind of poor. You wouldn't have noticed it, but she would have not been doing well with the cards that she's been slipping to herself. But
Yeah, I was seeing if Leo was going to say anything to us just talking to Thieves Camp.
does Leo say anything?
I don't think so. He's still just trying to figure out what's going
No,
on with
I'm
these cards.
intently looking at my cards in the game, like, bro, what the fuck, dude?
What
Getting
is
a little
wrong?
annoyed. What?
He's like, what the fuck is wrong with my cards? How is she doing so well?
Can I roll
You guys-
another deception check? Have you started another game?
It would have just been like continuation of what had already been happening.
Damn.
Alright.
So you go back in the main chamber. He is not out yet. That little encounter probably was about 30 minutes of your time, though. So he seems to be in his chambers of sorts, doing something.
I'm gonna. How long does Pass Without a Trace last?
10 minutes, I think. It should say on the spell.
Spell. Pass Without a Trace. Duration 1 hour. Has it been an hour?
Oh. I would say it's about to be the end of the hour.
Alright, I'm still just gonna roll the stealth then. Jesus Christ, I got a nat 20. So it's a 39.
You didn't even need the spell.
That's fucking cracked.
Okay. Oh yeah, you get a plus 19 with fucking Pass Without a Trace. That's right. Oh my god. Literally a typical rogue with a powerful spell attached to him. Oh my.
And I'm
Anyway.
not even a rogue.
Yeah, you're not even a rogue and you can do that shit. I did this I actually used a Shadow Monk against the other party and it was pissing them off. Because they couldn't find him.
It's so much fun. Especially with I'm kind of happy I multi-classed into rogue just
Oh, the
because
Master
the
G makes it.
expertise
Yeah,
allows
the
it
expertise.
so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so you rolled the check. What are you doing?
Is there any way I could see into the his back room?
There doesn't seem to be any kind of windows inside the sanctuary that look in. And
Yeah,
looking
dumbass.
at the
back
door
room doesn't-
itself, there is a bit of a gap under the door, about like maybe an inch of space. And looking down there, it seems the only light that seems to be in the room seems to be probably candlelight.
Is my passive perception high enough to tell where he is?
Yes, he is off to the side. You kind of see his feet.
Are they facing the doorway or not?
They seem to
facing the door?
be. It seems like he has his back to the door because he looks to be facing towards a wall where there's a table.
Oh my god, I really don't want to shadow step into there. Because that'd be with. I think Errol would have pieced together after he used darkness and man was hitting them that he has some form of blind sight. Would that make sense? I'm trying to not metagame.
Roll. Actually, no. Yeah, you'd be able to figure that out. You fought people with blind sight before.
Yeah.
And knowing it as a technique that some use against their opponents, you definitely do feel that he had some sort of blind sight. You don't know the distance of said blind sight, but you do know that he has something of the nature. Either that or he is a crack shot.
Yeah, either that or he is absolutely god tier. However, Errol's not. He's not stupid, so he's not gonna be like, I'm gonna risk this. How close is he to the door?
Probably. This chamber itself looks to be about 40 feet wide. This door it's kind of near one side of it, so he's at roughly about 45, 40, 50-ish feet from the door.
And would I be able to shadow step under using that little slit?
Does it specify you have to see the space?
It says I just have to see the other side, or I have to see
Yeah,
the space.
as long as you can see, yeah.
Okay, I would just um shadow. God, I got a nat 20 for stealth, and I'm still fucking scared.
Kind of looking at the space, you can tell, like, there is a bed. There's, like, clearly a place that he sleeps. There
Yeah.
is, where he is at, looks like a table. There looks to be what you could call a wardrobe based on what you can see of it. You're not entirely sure if it is a wardrobe.
Would I be able to ask the serpent a question without summoning it, or do I have to summon it?
It has to be summoned.
All right, I'd summon the serpent. Go when you were in there. I'd back away to do this so he can't hear me. I'd just say, did you see rafters at all?
No, there isn't any rafters. It's a smooth ceiling.
Do you
Why, are
think
you
they
planning to go sneak in?
possibly? Could you? Is he facing away from the door? Correct.
Yes.
Do you think? And asking the serpent, he goes, "Do you think there's an area for me to hide up high?"
The only space that I was able to observe would be upon the weird uh, wooden box along the wall, and it looks to be a place to sleep on the ground. There's a gap underneath it.
Wish me luck.
All right.
All right, Errol's gonna go over, look under, and then shadow step right to the other side of the door.
Like just on the other side?
Yep, just initially get himself in there, see where everything is, and then he's gonna shadow step again to wherever he needs to go.
Okay. You find the serpent was not lying. There is a bed. It does look to have enough space to slip underneath. There looks to be, beside the bed, a fairly large chest, as well as a shelf with various items that was just outside of the door due to kind of how it was positioned next to the bed and the chest. It seems to have various odd trinkets upon it, as well as a few gems that seem to be sitting upon these almost pedestals or like stands or whatever. The desk you see that he's standing at is much larger than it looked like from the door. It seems to take up most of the back wall, or this right side wall, and it looks to have several maps and scrolls and other things written laid out on it, as well as a few tomes that look to be on it. And beside it looks to be a very odd looking wardrobe. There doesn't seem to be like a clear way into it, but it does look like it contains something.
I'm
And there
gonna
does look to be
just
a space on the top that is like slightly, slightly blocked, or I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Um,
obscured.
Yeah, obscured. That was the word. Slightly obscured that allows like a space on the top that like something very small could hide.
How far away is the wardrobe from him?
Roughly 10-ish feet. He seems to be fairly close to it.
Is he? He's not close to the bed, right?
No, the bed's on the opposite side of the room of him.
All right, I'm just gonna shadow step to underneath the bed.
Okay. You slip under the bed. Now what?
All right, I wait. I'm seeing if he's saying anything. I'm trying to see if I could get a good look at all these maps and shit he has along the wall.
What languages do you speak?
I speak Common, Deep Speech, Sylvan, and Thievescan.
Okay. You would hear him muttering under his breath. You've heard Magnus speak this language. It is Giant that he's speaking. You do hear him muttering under his breath from time to time as he seems to be looking through the stuff that's on the desk. You don't see the maps from where you're sitting. They're on the desk itself. They were like laid out on the desk. But you do hear him kind of muttering under his breath, talking, and it seems to be, it's not frustration, but it seems to be dissatisfaction, that's the word. It seems to be dissatisfaction and a bit of confusion as he's kind of like doing this, and he goes on this way for quite some time.
So I say,
Your roll would, I'm still going to keep your roll because you're not moving.
okay.
Like the boost is going to drop, but like I'm just going to keep
still
that.
a nat 20.
Yeah, that nat
so
20.
It's a 29 without.
Yeah. He doesn't seem to notice you, but eventually you do see him kind of mutter under his breath, kind of let out a sigh, kind of rolls up some of these scrolls and whatnot, and he goes over to this kind of wardrobe, and you see him kind of tap it in a certain spot, and as he does, it seems to produce a very soft pop, and seems to the door. It's like the door sort of kind of like, I'm not gonna say appears, but it seems to produce a gap within it that opens like two ways, and you see within this wardrobe type deal there is uh, several scrolls within it that seem to be like locked up in this makeshift safe that's just supposed to look like a decorative piece. That he just kind of slides these scrolls into and then closes. And kind of walks out.
Before he gets within range of the bed, how close is the bed to the door?
The door that you came in? It's about 20-ish feet, 30-ish feet.
As soon as he starts getting with like 15 feet of me, I'm going to shadow step to the ceiling area and try, or I would, yeah, as soon as he gets within 15 feet of me and 15 feet away from the wardrobe, I'm going to shadow step on top of the wardrobe.
Okay. You seem to go unnoticed as you kind of gently appear upon this wardrobe. You kind of heading out and opening the door and doesn't seem to notice you.
And I no longer have the ability for the serpent to keep an eye on, but actually, would I still have any time left on that serpent?
It
So
was.
did
It
I
would have
use them for the
passed because
first? Because I think it's 5 minutes at a time, right?
it's 10.
Oh, it's 10 minutes at a
I
time.
think. Actually, it's right here.
I'm checking.
Check.
Yeah.
5 minutes. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 5.
So
I thought it was 10. I was wrong.
When I had him scout the room initially, was that the full 5 minutes?
Yeah, it would. He would have been in there for a while.
And then again, when I was asking him those questions, would that have been the full 5 minutes?
It would have passed while you were under the bed.
Okay. I'm gonna see if I could. I guess I'll click the spot that he had.
Okay. You tap this and you see the wardrobe kind of slowly slide open. I'm kind of looking about. You do see with like some of these scrolls look to be probably. There's some organization system that you're not quite understanding.
Yeah.
So you
but
do
I
kind
would
of
have
like.
seen him where he placed it, right?
Yeah, you would have seen the spot that he placed the specific ones that he was looking at.
I'm gonna take a moment to just open them, try to memorize what's on there. I'm not understanding any of it. I'm just taking a moment to memorize it.
Okay. Looking at them, they do seem to be as what you can recognize. It seems to be in giant and there's another language on there that you can't read. It does seem fiendish in nature. You're not entirely sure, though. You said you speak. It's deep speech you speak, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, not infernal or abyssal. It seems to be one of those two, though. It seems to be infernal or abyssal. You can't tell specifically, but it does. A lot of it seems to be written in that. There are crude pictures on these scrolls as well. One of which, the crude picture looks to be of the white dragon that you had spoken with him about. Though it seems whatever information is here is most likely on that dragon specifically.
Okay. I'm just gonna quickly put those after I memorize them, put those away, and then close the dresser.
Roll an intelligence check for me. Be able to memorize these.
What is my intelligence? Oh, just a straight intelligence?
Yeah.
Alright, 0 modifier. You to miss. 18.
You are able to memorize a pretty large portion of this scroll. There are a few details you miss as you kind of put them back, and as you're kind of sliding them back in, you do realize, like, shit, I've forgotten some of it already, but I have an idea.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the hell out of there and get back to the room real quick. Actually, I'm just gonna be shadow step under the door, shadow step to outside, and then make my way back into the room.
Stealth check.
And stealth check?
Yeah, new stealth new stealth roll.
Would I be able to cast Pass Without a Trace before leaving the room?
Do you have key points still?
I do. I've only used one.
All right, then yes, you can. I don't know if it's just one key point you have to spend though for it. I think it's more. I could be wrong.
Let me see. I'll double check for you.
I thought it was 2 points to do it, but I could be wrong.
Pass Without a Trace. Cast time 1 action, but as actions I can use.
They are looking the wrong spots for the shadow arts. You spend 2 key points to cast darkness. Yeah, it's 2 key points per casting.
Okay, so this would be 4 key points in total.
Yeah, you would have spent 4, which you have plenty.
I have 8. Right?
Yeah.
All right, back to random bullshit with cross bull, whatever the fuckery is 34. Yeah.
Wow.
So
all right.
adding the modifier, and then I have advantage.
Yeah.
Monkey mode. Stealth mode activate. All right. Yeah. So I'm just gonna quickly shadow step out of there. Shadow step. And then go back into the room, and then just before my little bird brain forgets this shit, scribble down.
So you reappear in the main chamber. You do see him kind of near the front door-ish.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to just be kind of wandering about. And it seems like he's thinking. He's like walking around and doing some thinking. And you are able to slip past him, though, and kind of slip back into your chamber. The others don't really notice you come in. Yeah, none of them have a passive high enough to notice a 34. But yeah, you slip back into the room, and immediately just start scribbling in the corner without anyone even noticing you're there.
Start just scribbling parchment.
I would say it would take several minutes for anyone to even notice you're in the room.
Who would be the first?
Cal.
Okay.
Cal would be the first who kind of... He wouldn't say anything. He would kind of glance in your direction and just kind of like look a little curiously at you as you seem to be doing this. Trinket would be the second.
Okay. How long would it take for me to finish scribbling all of this down?
Probably by the time Trinket noticed you is by the time that you would be done.
Okay. I'm just going to go over to the table. Are they still playing poker, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
All right, Alec is left, so yeah. I'll
Yeah,
just
he's still focused on his cards, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
just go over, hold up some of the papers, and just point.
All right.
And say in Thieves' Cant, can either of you understand this?
Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Both of them look at it, look at each other, look back at you, kind of shake their heads. Cal says, "Unfortunately, not. I know it's giant, but I'm not entirely. No, it's not giant. It's abyssal, or it's a mix of giant and abyssal. That's what I told you. Yeah. He said, I don't speak giant or abyssal, unfortunately. They're not exactly common languages for my my trade." Trinket just kind of shrugs and just says, I can't read it, unfortunately."
Fine. I'm just going to, not in my main bag of holding, but in my second bag of holding that I keep hidden, just stash them in there.
Okay.
All right. I'm just gonna, I guess, make my way over. I'll feed Toothless.
You notice too after you feed him, and due to your absence, he seems to have found a liking to Cal. Where after you kind of like feed him and you kind of like begin to head like back out the door, he seems to sit beside Cal. Cal just kind of casually gives him skirches.
Looks like he seems to like you. That's good.
Well, he seems to have a good judge of character.
I would have to agree. Just make my way over to the main monastery.
Okay. As you kind of exit the room, you do see he's still where he was. Oh,
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I was gonna say I'm not stealthed or anything, right?
No,
I'm
yeah,
just,
he still seems to be where he was, and he kind of glances over to you and just says, "Are we ready to continue training?"
Yes, sir.
All right. Let us begin. And we're not going to go through the specifics on this. I don't think we have much else to really do with this arc. Mainly because I think we've done everything. Because it's just me and you, so it's gone really quick.
We've been able to knock this out pretty fast.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I don't know what comes of this training.
I'll give you something at some point that would come out of this. Give me a reminder, like every few days if you can remember, so that I remember to do it, because I'm working on 100 projects at the same time.
Yeah, you're good.
Dumb. But yeah, I think this is a good stopping point. Slightly duller session, but it was a lot of Errol things.
Errol doing owl shit.
Yeah. Which it worked for everyone not being around. This worked out. Because the next session, I would say this would you'd probably train under him for like 3 or 4 days. And then you guys are going to probably be heading to your next location, which I believe, if I believe correctly, it was Bloodkeep. Yes. Now I got to do my research on Bloodkeep.
Yeah, the only thing I would see if I could ask them, I don't know if they would have the same tools that my clan would have used, but have you ever seen, they were used by some ninja groups in Japan, but it's essentially like a small scythe, like handheld scythe with a chain attached to it, and usually something at the end of the chain.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Those things are fucking crazy.
Those things are wild. I don't think they exist in D&D whatsoever, but
it would be based off of a sickle. If any, like the damage would be based off a sickle, which is D4.
But what would the striking ball at the end be doing?
The striking range for it? You're saying it's a sickle on a chain on a handle.
So, it's essentially how it would be used is there is like either a chain or a rope. I've seen it used with either or, and there is like a not necessarily like a ball, but a larger piece of metal at the end of it, and it would be used to the person would throw the chain, either try to strike the person with the end of like that little ball thing, or they would either grapple. It would like try to wrap around the weapon that they're using, and they would pull in, and then they would use the sickle close quarters, or it could be used in vice versa, where you would swing the sickle and.
It's essentially the equivalent of having a pole blade, but instead of a pole, it is just a chain. And instead of having a blade on either side, you have a ball on one side and a sickle on the other.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what it's called.
We can figure that out in a minute. But yeah, I think we'll end the session here. This is good. Next session, we will be heading towards Bloodkeep as Magnus continues to try to bring his sister back to full recovery while the rest of you are doing your things. We hope you guys enjoyed. So this is the odder session of normal. Not much happening. A little bit of lore, which, isn't always a bad thing. That thing, I've seen that. Yes. Okay. Never mind. So yeah, sickle with a chain on it. Yeah.
And then it has that striking ball thing at the end.
We can come up with something. We can come up with something. But yes, we hope you enjoyed. If you did, and you want to catch us in the next episode, follow the Twitch, turn on those notifications. If we get enough followers and then get enough viewer count, we could get affiliate. Just putting that out there as a potential thing of the future. You can also join the Discord, where we are trying to build a community of people that enjoy D&D, possibly having events within the community in the future, if, the community size allows it. And the last way is to follow the Twitter, where I try to keep everyone up to date. I do a terrible job, but I try my best, and that's all that matters. And if you want to catch up on previous episodes, go check out the YouTube page. We have a very well-curated set of playlists just for all of you to catch up on episodes from beginning to current or beginning to end if the campaign has already ended. And as always, we hope you guys enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.
For that item. Essentially, Arrow